Do you want to kind of bring up the elephant in the room?
Yeah, take your hat off.
I cut my hair. I'm not taking my hat off
Take the
yet.
hat off.
It's
Take it off.
stop. No, we're gonna start over. I'm not gonna do it with it.
Take it off.
No, I'm not gonna take it off. You'll see it eventually.
All right. He did cut his hair. He no longer has the long hair
Yep.
that he's had for a while. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, so
Kind of sound like you're sick a little bit.
I am sick.
Okay. So what are we gonna talk about today?
You brought up a few minutes ago what we should talk about,
Yeah.
and that is something that this new Joker movie has brought out in the public eye or in public conversation.
Yeah. Well, what I said was there's a couple of articles that are people are saying because the Joker is a villain and there's a lot of violence in it that it's glorifying because it's all about him. It's glorifying the with in today's age with all the shootings and everything. It's glorifying um, just violence and giving
Yeah.
him a light, and people are saying that now. I mean, without spoiling anything too much, but I watched it and in the movie how it first starts, him start kind of getting violent is it almost is from a standpoint of him defending himself kind of. There's one scene where
Wait, hold on. Spoiler.
no, this is a teeny bit of
If
spoiler.
you're
It's not
telling
much of a
anything in the
spoiler.
film, it's a spoiler.
He's on a subway and he is getting mugged basically by these three guys, and he has a gun, so he decides to pull it out and shoot him to defend himself. He was getting mugged, so he has kind of the right to,
Yeah.
but um, but then he killed somebody, and then he just ran away from the scene. Um,
Yeah, that is a spoiler.
well, what do
You
you
can't
think
say it's not a
about
spoiler.
this?
All right, I haven't seen the movie yet. You
Mhm.
have spoiled it a little for me because I haven't asked you to tell me anything about this movie.
Okay.
I haven't, and people watching this haven't either. I mean, it is fresh. Just because you went and watched it in the movie theater, it's brand new. The idea of the violence. Um, no, I don't think that this movie is going to incite violence. Uh,
Okay.
like
Straight off the bat.
straight
Yeah.
off the bat. The reason why is because people that I mean, it's been in the conversation of the public eye forever. Like, does video games incite violence in people?
Yeah.
No. It's not scientifically proven,
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
and we don't see a growth in violent crimes. Everyone says, oh, violent crimes is so bad today. Yes, it is, because there are things like mass shootings and stuff that's very serious and that's very dangerous, and it's a problem. But it's not a while ago, like in the 80s, there were like serial killers that was just roaming the streets. There was a
Mhm.
lot more scary stuff that's been happening all throughout history, and to say that today we're more violent than ever before because of video games or movies like this Joker, it's not scientifically proven and it's not accurate.
Do you think? I mean, yes, I hear what you're saying, but kind of from another perspective in the movie, how like was saying that it's almost saying like he's defending himself. He's standing up for himself. For people are making fun of him um, for being weird, and so he's gonna defend himself um, and go out and do kill people basically because he's defending himself, but he's doing it in kind of a wrong way. Um,
Well, I haven't seen the movie yet.
yeah,
What I always say when it comes to movies and when you're portraying violence in a film, okay, I've always said, excuse me, that it's okay to portray violence in films. I don't have any problem with it. It's the way you bring light to it.
hmm
So it sounds like, from what you're saying, whenever the Joker kills somebody, it's usually done in a serious fashion. It's like saying, this guy has killed somebody, and that's serious. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Am I correct?
yeah,
It's movies like The Kingsman that's come out that is very violent,
hmm
and it kills people in like really weird ways. Did you see that movie?
I haven't.
The first Kingsman I watched, it's like they have this they do something to their brains that makes them like super violent and just kill people at will. There's like thousands of people that die in that film, and it just happens without even giving it a second thought. Yeah, those kind of movies devalues human life and it makes it not a serious thing. Movies like this, I think, does the opposite. I think it breaks down like someone's psychological position that's in a place to where they would take someone's life, and deconstructing that is actually bringing value to human life and making it a serious topic, you know?
Hmm.
What do you think about that?
I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying. Being that one is not making light of the killing, and one is,
Yeah.
from a different perspective.
Yeah, if you're going to show violence on film and have somebody die, what I would always bring to my films, I don't have a problem with violence in movies, but if you're doing it in a way that's because I think the human life is important.
Yeah.
So whenever you convey someone's life being taken from them on screen, it needs to be done in the appropriate emotion and setting. It should feel like someone actually just lost their life and not just
Yeah.
glossed over and unimportant and devaluing to the human life. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, let's take a break real quick and then we can come back and talk about some of the things that you maybe have seen people talk about on the internet specifically.
Okay, we want to take a little bit of time. I know we do this in every video, but to promote our YouTube channel, our Facebook,
Yeah.
our Instagram. We want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That gives us people who you can see our stuff on a constant basis whenever we're coming out. There's also a bell you can hit. It'll notify you to let you know when the video is actually out.
Yeah. Right now, we're trying to grow our following. And so, the best way that you can do that is by subscribing. We're not selling anything right now. We're not, promoting anything specific other than the work that we do on this channel right now. So,
Yep.
if you want to support our company, you want to support us getting started, WiseWorks Entertainment, subscribe here on YouTube. And like Joshua said, hit the bell notification, and you'll be notified and you can watch the videos every time we come out with one. So,
Yep.
all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting back into it, tell me a little bit about some things specifically that you've heard online about the controversy with inciting violence from this new Joker movie.
I mean, I don't know if of any like actual things that have happened because of this movie, but I know a lot of people, and this is kind of with any. They were talking about kind of the premieres and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of a lot of big events these days. They wanted to make sure that there was a lot of like police presence
Yeah,
and
security.
security. Yeah, for people that are going to be going to see like on opening night. I know.
They had the issue with The Dark Knight a number of years ago.
Yeah. So they always have like some security or police presence
Mm-hmm.
at theaters and stuff for that reason. And I know where we went, there wasn't a ton of people there for it being opening night, but they did have. I did see one security guard there at the door when you walked in, and that's kind of most of the time these days. But um, just being not over, but being aware and um, acknowledging that there's a
Mm-hmm.
chance, just being safe in case anything does happen.
Yeah.
Um, but there wasn't actually events that happened because of this movie.
Yeah. And there hasn't been anything happening.
There hasn't.
Um,
I know at the time of the recording this, it's still like,
it's still early,
yeah, this is
but
opening weekend. Now we're recording. It's going to be a few weeks once we release it, but
mm-hmm.
this is opening weekend. So,
Well, and it's interesting the whole concept behind this one specifically. Like, I believe Joaquin Phoenix went through, he's a method actor. I don't think he calls himself a method actor, but he is in the traditional sense of what a method actor does. He lost a lot of weight for the role.
yeah.
He got himself into a headspace of sorts, but not as intense of a headspace as other people have done for the Joker. You know, like Jared Leto would stay in character, and he would mail like weird, crazy things to cast members. Got to the point where other cast members didn't even like him as a person. And then obviously, Heath Ledger, he was I don't he would do things like lock himself in a white room for hours, and he did end up dying shortly after the recording from an overdose.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually saw on, not to promote any show, but there was a late night show that they were interviewing Joaquin Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
and the host, he played kind of, it was a behind the scenes video kind of. Joaquin Phoenix didn't know he was gonna play it, and in the video, he was cussing and very very angry at the DP, because apparently something happened to where the DP was, he messed up his take. It threw him out of his headspace from
Yeah.
being the Joker, and it the camera was still recording, but he was like cussing and saying, calling out him by name.
Mm-hmm.
And when they played that video on the interview, he felt, you could tell he was really embarrassed,
Yeah.
and um he was like, well, I guess I should apologize to this guy even though it was his fault. And um because he threw him out of his headspace.
Yeah.
And I know, like you were saying, a lot of people, when they get into this character, they don't even like him anymore because they get
Mm-hmm.
so into the character. Um, Now you said you don't think Joaquin got into it as much.
I mean, I'm sure he got into a headspace, but I don't think he had any specific practices that he would do to make himself more into the headspace. You know what I mean? I think he's just such good an
Yeah.
actor, he can immerse himself and stay in that, you know?
Yeah. Now, like what you're saying, getting into the headspace. This movie, without, I don't want to spoil anything again, but it's very psychological. That's what the movie's about. It's not really about. There's not so much a violent movie. It's rated R. I think for being rated R, they
Mm-hmm.
pushed it to a place we've never seen the Joker before psychologically,
Yeah.
because they could with a rated R movie. So I think we do see, from a psychological standpoint, a little bit different place than we have seen the Joker before.
Yeah.
But if Joaquin has done more or less, I can't say.
Well, it all comes back to what we're talking about. Is this movie going to incite violence?
Yeah.
I don't think it will. I think if people are going to do violent stuff, you can't look to video games or movies like this and say that caused that person to do this violent crime, you know?
Yeah.
If anything, the thing is, movies like the Joker, I know the Joker's a fictional character,
Mm-hmm.
but the things that he is causing in the film, you know, violent acts of, I guess, large groups of people and everything, it's something that happens. It's something that actually is real. And it's not something you can point back and say, this movie caused this kind of action.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's unfair to do that. I think the movie is actually a creative way to express to us what our world's condition is already in.
And I also think that it does kind of put like almost a warning label, being that it is rated R.
Mm-hmm.
Because for like Heath Ledger's Joker, it was PG-13, yes, but people went into it thinking, oh, it's a Batman movie, it's a superhero movie. So you're like, it's a superhero fun movie.
Yeah.
But then you go in and you see how intense he took that character
Mm-hmm.
and the place he took it, to where you're like, oh, that got dark. And a lot of people, I know when it first came out, we weren't even allowed to watch it because
Yeah, because we were younger.
we were younger at the time, yeah. But this movie, it's rated R, so for one, you can't even get into the theater and watch it unless you have a guardian or something
Mm-hmm.
to watch it for that reason, it being rated R. But then you go into it knowing that there's a reason it's rated R. It
Yeah.
has more, and it's more of a Joker movie rather than a superhero movie.
Yeah. There that's a good distinction. Again, what I was saying, there's a big difference between like a movie that's just all fictional, like superhero movies, and movies like this that derives from a superhero world, but it's something that's very much based in reality.
Yeah.
And so, like I was saying before, I think movies like this is a reflection of where we already are in the human condition, and not so much because of this movie.
Yeah.
And I think you're foolish to think that we're as a culture this way because of movies like this. I think actually movies like this are probably healthy because it can give us a good idea of where we are or where we can get with certain ideas or thoughts, you know.
Yeah. So I would say, just to wrap it up, let us know your thought on the movie.
Yeah, if you
don't put
watch
anything
it,
spoilers, because people, if they read the comments or anything, tell us what you think of the movie. Good, bad, was it a good movie? Um,
you're going to have to title this thumbnail in a way that lets people know
yeah.
that there's spoilers for the Joker, because you just let one out and like, it's not a spoiler. Yeah, it is.
Well, I will. So
All right.
let us know what you think about this topic and this movie.
Yeah.
As Joker. By the time this comes out, a lot more people have probably seen the
Yeah,
movie.
hopefully I will have seen it.
So let us know what you think.
Yeah. And thank you for watching this week's video. We'll see you later.
Ta-ta.